snacks.
And what it do, snackers and snackettes? I like that better. That makes me feel better.
It makes you feel better?
Yeah, this is wrong.
I feel you.
I like the wide view.
I feel you.
But, you know, side by side.
When it's just two of us, this feels
like bros.
Yeah, this feels a little better.
Yeah. Snackers, snackettes, snack X's. It's your boy Gage. Send us in the building. Jokes is running late. As usual.
That's kind of part of the course now.
I feel like it was a thing before the show recently. I just think
in person he always runs late.
Yeah.
In person, but Zoom he was usually on time. Now it's starting to carry over into this.
Yeah, Marcus, we don't like the Zoom looking. We don't like this Zoom call thing. We like this. Marcus, what do you think about the moving backgrounds? You are now tuned into Cutscenes, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in video games. And today, Sin, that's where you say you forgot Jokes isn't here. When I say today,
no, I'm not. He should be here to say his line. See, I do the best. I do the Billy D. Williams joint. That's what I do.
What's
I
up?
do Billy D.
What's up, Heather? Sin.
Yes.
You're breaking the cage. There it is. You know what I mean? Now you can say it like I like how you like pointed, like you did it like him, like you put a little. It had a little new Joker on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. A couple things on the docket. The big thing for today is that we're gonna be talking. We're running down E3 predictions. Listen, E3 is a beast, so we won't be doing all E3 predictions as a whole. We'll do some general ones. I think we're gonna focus on Nintendo today because PlayStation's not gonna be there anyway. We don't have to worry about them. True. But the ESA and E3 are continuing to announce more and more people who are participating in this new fangled virtual E3 event. So we'll have to see what that actually looks like and what it means. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, so today, I shouldn't say PlayStation announced. There was an article where it came out that PlayStation is working on like 25 new titles, new games, and like half of them are new IP.
Okay.
So we're going to discuss that a little bit. And then Xbox decided to go hard. Like, we turned 20 this year. You know what I'm saying? And just decided we're just going to celebrate the majority of the year. Because technically, I mean, it won't be until like November when technically they turn 20. But, you know, why not? Let's just go hard. Marcus, what's this about a new One Piece game?
I think he just, as far as predictions and announcements, I think that's where he's going with that.
That's where he is?
I think that's where he is. Because I haven't heard of no new One Piece game.
I mean, we all know.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
They contact you first.
They should be.
To let you know what the business is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Let's talk about Xbox first. Let's just run this down. Let's talk.
All right.
Xbox turning 20. So they put out a video today, a little trailer of sorts, that just kind of went through, I think, some of the more pieces of nostalgia. Well.
Better late than never.
Look who decided. Go ahead, hit the button, man. Jump in. Get in here. Now you done messed my screen up. Now I got to move it like this again. You know what I mean?
And we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
You ain't got no audio. That. Oh, okay. Good job. You was there. Taughty little jokes.
But why does everybody say Gage?
My man, Marcus. I'm glad I can say I'm older than Xbox. Barely, though. You know what I mean? Just barely, Marcus. That's not true. That's not really true. Yeah, so they put out this video today, this trailer today. I guess we could call it a highlight reel. I guess it's not really a trailer because it's not like you're putting out something for something that's coming or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call it a highlight reel. Starting with like the unveiling of the original box with like The Rock.
Yep, I remember that.
I feel like The Rock was chubby when that happened.
He didn't have that buff Rock. He was just like,
I mean, he was a thick guy.
Yeah. But he wasn't low muscle, the Rock that we know of today.
Yeah.
He wasn't as lean as he is now.
Nah, this was definitely black turtleneck fanny pack Rock, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Rock the shades and the silk shirts.
The little S curl.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it. Like, I hadn't really thought about how old the Xbox brand really is.
Mm-hmm.
20 years is a long time. So, like,
yes, it is.
In the grand scheme of things, when it comes to games and game consoles and gaming in general, it's a baby, right? I mean, it's younger than PlayStation, for sure, by about 5 or 6 years, and certainly younger than Nintendo.
Absolutely.
Many others have come and gone. You know what I mean? Are no longer in at least not in the console game. Sega. I mean, I guess Atari did put out something this year. I'm gonna go with it doesn't count. It doesn't count. I'm not going with it. I'm saying it. It doesn't count. Like what they did this year doesn't count. Atari doesn't have a console.
No, they don't.
Let's be real about that. Yeah, so I just think it's interesting. So I just kind of wanted to go back and talk about some of the early memories that we might have of the OG Xbox. Jokes, did you have an OG Xbox?
Sure did. I will never forget. That was actually a surprise from my aunt at that point. So we actually got it from Walmart because we were going to Walmart for like a normal shopping trip, and I guess she had called them. This was like right after it came out. I guess we got lucky, but she called them, and I guess apparently was able to get them to hold one. This was back when you could actually call stores and tell them to hold something for you.
Sure.
And of course, we go in there, we do the normal shopping, and she was like, "We got to make one more stop before we go out of the store." We didn't already pay for stuff. I was like, "Okay." Go to customer service. She's like, "Yeah, there's a certain item up here that I'm here to pick up." And next thing you know, I just see a person go behind the counter, bring this big old giant black box, and I was like, So I'll never. That was like one of the ultimate surprises. Because normally I can see those type of things coming, but not this one.
Because it was your aunt, you think?
Maybe.
Hey, let me tell you something, Ty. Hey, Ty, man, you make me want to yell at you. I have a splitting headache today, man. You got me raising my voice, Ty. Listen.
Jokes was late and still beat you here.
Ty, but for you, Ty, you're right on time.
Right on time.
Actually, look, I'll give him a little slack today because he went to go get his TV and he got a Series X.
Oh,
why should I cut him slack though? Like he would be on that early. Like you supposed to leave work early, get your stuff, get it set up, you can be ready to go. I hope he was in the house setting it up on this newfangled, you know what I'm saying? On that fresh LG. You was texting me about.
He said he's not gonna hold us up anymore when we game.
Wait a minute, let me put my Ty voice on because y'all know y'all don't know what Ty's on. What should I do, fellas? Should I get the LG or should I get the Samsung? Get the LG, bro. That LGC. I'm glad you got your stuff, man. Welcome to the crew. You will no longer be holding us up with your load times when we're trying to play games like Outriders because them joints was excruciating.
It was painful.
You know what I'm saying? My man said he was doing his setup and checking his settings. I feel you, bro. I feel you. That's all important, dog. Like I am 100%. Yeah. Run your TV's calibration, and then run the Xbox's calibration. The Xbox has a built-in calibration. Make sure you run the Xbox's calibration. It'll just help you get everything kind of lined up like you want it. But So Jokes, your aunt gave you your OG Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's why it felt like it came out of left field, like you didn't see it coming. Was because
Probably. Normally, my aunt was the one that always, well, that's when I'm like, what does Chris need? What does Chris need? So normally it was like the school stuff and all this type of stuff, but that one was just the surprise of surprises. So I was like, I'm walking out the store. This is when you didn't have to worry about having someone kind of walk with you. I'm walking out the store as a little kid with this big old giant box in my hand.
Hey dog, I know that joint was heavy as I don't know.
She was like, I got it and you carry it. I was like, okay.
That's fair. That's fair. What were you like, 6th grade?
That sounds about right.
Something like that?
Yeah, 6 going into 7th, right? Yeah, right there.
Something like that. San, talk to me, bro.
It's kind of like in a similar vein. I remember being at work, getting off work, telling moms or brother like, "Yo, I'm trying to go to Target, go
Stop
get
right
something."
there. Stop right there.
What?
You remember being at work? Joke was in the 6th grade.
Hey, I ain't know nothing about no bills or nothing. I ain't had to worry about none of that stuff.
Oh, talking about little jokes.
My man said, I remember being at
my
work.
Little, hey, that's the prime example.
It was like I was carrying my box.
My little small hands holding the big old controller, holding the Duke. Oh,
listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm the same size now as I was when that came out. Terrible. Okay, my bad, dog. Finish your story.
That was funny.
That was good.
Right? Went over there to go get a PlayStation game or something, like a PlayStation 2 game or something like that. And I'm in there and just happen to look down and see they actually had them in stock. So I'm like, oh,
hey, what up, man?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, yo, moms, they got these joints. We gotta get them. She like, nah, we ain't. We're not gonna do that right now. I'm like, what, you tripping, mom? It's right there. Here, I can finally get one. And her and my brother was kind of like, nah, like we good right now. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? It's right there. Apparently, she had already bought it and it was in the house.
Right.
So when we finally get back home, I see it. I'm turned up. Now I gotta go get like games and stuff.
You gotta go back.
Gotta go back.
You gotta go back.
Yeah. When Slam back up that jump, picked up some stuff, came in, and of course, me and Z, we turned up.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I know you did. Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I got my box day one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I must have bought 4 of them joints. Something like that. Not like day one. Not
right. No. I know not day one.
Through the cycle. Through the whole life cycle.
Yeah, like I bought one. I bought one when they first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Like I actually liked the Duke controller. Like I didn't have anything against it. I remember that being a big deal for a lot of people though, like how big the controller was. And I remember people feeling like, I remember that like now we kind of know that they like design the components for the interior of the controller before they design the outside of it, and that's why the controller was so big.
Oops.
But I remember them specifically being like, these are for American hands. like you know what I mean? Like Japanese people got smaller hands and we've been subjected to playing with their, you know what I mean, or whatever. And it was like, yeah, y'all tried to sell that joint over there, and it was like, we're not playing with this.
We can't use this.
We playing with these footballs, bro.
This colossal controller of yours.
Nobody even knows what American football is over here. We definitely not playing with this. Cuddy says, so what year did Fable come out? That's when they got the Xbox brick. Was solely a PS guy. Celebrating 20 years is more than 18 for me. Definitely was a day one guy. Let me think. I want to say Fable was like 03.
Sounds about right. Matter of fact.
Something like that. 03, 04. When I say Halo 3 was the second game he bought. Let me tell you something.
September 14th, 2004 was on the 360. That was for Fable 3. I said Fable, not Fable 3.
Man,
2004.
I still got mine. Okay, so 04. So that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen. All my Xboxes are here. Like, I have them. I still got. I have the box. Like that box Jokes was talking about.
I have that somewhere too.
Now I can go get it. You want me to go get it? I'll go get it. You want me to go get it?
I'm pretty sure mine's is actually on the landing over
with the blue joint, the clear blue joint.
Second, no. I mean the box.
The box that it came in.
Okay.
Now, I'm pretty sure I got mine on too. Like
the
that's the only one.
That joint's sitting right there. I can pick that up.
Like that's the only, like how you said you had like 4. I'm like, that's probably the only console I don't think I've ever gotten another one of. That I had the same one from day one all the way up until the original 360 came out. I didn't have to do anything with that bad boy. I was the same.
So the same way, like now Microsoft has that program where like you can pay like a monthly fee for like the Series X or S. And I remember them running like a test, like a pilot, and doing something similar with that with the 360. So at Best Buy, which I was working there at the time, if you signed up for MSN Internet, technically they didn't give you an Xbox. Like it started out as being an Xbox thing. So initially the way the program worked was if you signed up for MSN, which was one of those things that like Best Buy was pushing, was
used to give out all the
right. So if you signed up for MSN, you got an Xbox for free. Just gave it to you. So I already had an Xbox. But I was like, whatever, I signed up for MSN. Got another one. All right. And then I decided I wanted to get my brother one. So I signed up for another MSN. Got him a 3. That's 3 right there, bro. So like we was already, you know what I'm saying, on the move. And you know, then I modded one, super modded that joint. Put a 200 gig hard drive in that joint and never looked back, bro. Never looked back. Turned that joint into an emulating powerhouse. Changed out the case, made it blue.
Yes, you did,
man. Like, yeah, like I feel like that move when Xbox came out. Xbox changed what consoles are. The same way I feel like they're doing now. They set precedents for so many things. Ty said this one was special for me too. I felt I was branching off from PS2, and for some reason it felt good, and I wanted Old Republic bad. Hey, look, I'm not mad. You know, like, you know, I was already PS2 heavy. I had my PS2 for quite some time because, like we talked about on the show before, like Sin and I imported our PS2, so we had them like a year before most people had them here in the US. And then still got US PS2s, fat boys, you know what I mean? The big brick joints. You know, but like the fact that the Xbox had a hard drive in it, the fact that you could store music to it, the fact that you could use that music when you were playing, you know, 2K on it, when you were
when it was one of them early wrestling games they put on.
I was literally getting ready to say that. When I tell you I switched out the music in them.
Me and my brother lived in that just to make intros. Just to make characters intros.
Me, Ellis, bruh, constantly, dog, making intros, creating characters and making intros because you can design the ramp, the lights, the music, everything, bruh, and being able to pull in. Also, we were creating music heavily at that time. So being able to put your own music in and have that, like, it was just like what they were doing with the hard drive, having the Ethernet port on the back of it. Man, LAN parties with Xboxes, Halo. Bro, we spent many a night playing games we had no business playing all night. Freaking tennis, dog. Sweating, bro.
We in there like this, like, woo, like leaning forward at the screen, just
talking the most trash, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bought these they had these boxes, like Logitech used to make these they look like walkie-talkies, right? And they had an antenna and channel buttons on the side and a screen on the front that just told you like what channel it was on, and it had an Ethernet port on it. So you could wire that joint to one Xbox and wire the other one to another Xbox, and basically it would treat them like you were system linked to each other. Man, we got people upstairs, people downstairs, bruh. We are killing it. Like, it was nuts, bro. Like the kinds of things that they were doing were ahead of the time, and you know,
definitely
that idea of them wanting to get in the game because they were trying to prevent Sony from taking over the living room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Microsoft had been trying to get into your living room for a long time. You remember, like Microsoft had like web TV. It was just like a keyboard that connected to like your cable box or whatever. So like if you didn't have a computer or whatever, like they would really do that. Listen, Ty.
Hey, look,
let me tell you something, Ty.
Oh.
Yo, we had connects, bro. I can name websites right now. You can go to.
I remember we had that first Soul Calibur like 6 months before it dropped over here. Hey, look, we were washing everybody.
What? Bruh. Washing. Soul Calibur. That was That was when we was pulling in Dreamcast joints early. That's the joints, bro. Like rival schools.
Straight Japanese.
Dog.
On Game Facts to get the translation.
That's the only thing that I'm upset about is the fact like how you guys did all the importing like this. That was before I really started getting into the whole importing thing. I really didn't find out about importing until I started getting into anime with Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. And once I got into that, then it just started snowballing. Pandora's.
So it kind of came from that for us. So like one of the places that Sin and I used to go to get our anime early, to get it imported, was the same place they sold imported games and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so that became an in for us to be like, wait a minute, so y'all finna had the Japanese joints in here? How much? 700? Okay.
Let's do
it. Okay.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I'm in there. You know what I mean? Like we used to like people complaining now about paying $70 for games. We was paying $70 for games in the late 90s.
Easy.
For imports,
we were there so much they knew us by like name. We called them. Oh yeah, we'll hold it for y'all.
Yeah.
I eventually
so much. Yeah.
I eventually got to that
I could call them and be like, I could call them and be like, y'all got such and such. They'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, bet I'm on the way. And they'd be like, you need me hold too, right? Of course I do.
You got it.
Of course I do. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pick up Sin's yeah, man, like those days, man, like that Xbox came in and just kind of shook things up, I think, in ways that were just unexpected. Like the OG Xbox console ran 720. 720p.
Damn, 720. It was actually 720?
Yep. That joint ran 720. There are joints on that joint you can run in 720 now.
It's crazy how you talk about they didn't want Sony to control the living room, and just looking at it now, like, yeah, y'all job, like I control the 20 years later, you are the ones controlling the living room now.
Hey, we said we weren't gonna let them do it.
It's a combination of the two, right? I mean, they're both kind of right. Yeah. I mean, what am I say? I'm with Joe.
Horror movies.
About an import game late. Miles. I mean, you totally tied. That makes sense. From importing horror movies. That's a new one. That I'm
I got to hear about that one because
what were you watching that you need to import it horror wise?
Yeah, dog, I'm a little lost on that.
Probably weren't even horror movies. They were probably just normal movies from other places that just scared you when they came over here.
Nah, those were probably horror movies. Knowing Ty, they probably was horror movies. Yeah, I'm listen, they put out this graphic on the website. Check this out. They just decided we're just gonna show y'all all the
controllers.
All the controllers, man. Like
look at the size of that Duke.
Bruh.
No joke. Hey,
no joke, bruh.
She was thick.
Yeah. I mean, they came a long way, man. Like look, doing things that are kind of again against the grain, like pushing the envelope, offsetting the thumbsticks was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Again, having Ethernet port on the console was a big deal. Having that large hard drive was a big deal. Like the PS2, you could get a hard drive, but they didn't have a hard drive until Final Fantasy 11 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 11 came out. You could buy Final Fantasy 11. It came with a hard drive because you needed the hard drive in order to play it.
Yep.
And you finally knew what that big
empty space was in the back of that joint. I wondered for so long, like, what the hell is this?
Yep. And that also, but it had your jack on it, but it wasn't Ethernet. You know what I mean? You're playing Final Fantasy 11 on dial-up.
Disgusting.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
But I was all on it. But I was all about it.
Yeah. Real talk, man. Oh, my man Ty said all his kaiju movies were imported.
No, that was
I mean, oh no, I'm sorry. Marcus said that. Yeah.
I can understand that one. That one I don't
actually,
understand.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense because there weren't good kaiju movies. If you needed them, you had to. Yeah, that's how you had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That joint was definitely a turning point. Obviously, 20 years later, they did something that worked, something that stuck. You know what I mean? And now you look at it, and it's like all consoles have a hard drive.
Yeah.
All of them have an Ethernet port. You know what I mean? Like those things that they did, they kind of they set precedents. And they changed the game up. So I don't think there's. I mean, the PlayStation 2 having DVDs, like being a DVD player, was that kind of a change. That was a big deal. You know what I mean? Going from CD to DVD. That was definitely a big deal. And the original PlayStation, I guess technically it wasn't the first disc-based system. You know what I mean? Like the Sega CD, ran disc. There were other disc-based systems. So certainly some of those things, there were things that other people did to innovate and push it along, but the kinds of things that weren't necessarily specifically game related. Where I think things that Microsoft was doing that were forward thinking because they were coming in as a disruptor. Yep. They were coming in as a software company / PC company that really looked at the business differently. And for the most part, in terms of hardware, the only thing they made was keyboards and mice. Like that was it.
Just the peripherals.
Yeah. It wasn't, that just wasn't really what they did. So, it was a big deal. It was a big step, and it's one that I think has changed the console space for the better, for sure.
My
Blu-ray Cuddy said my only Blu-ray players were consoles.
But it made sense.
That's how it was for a lot of people.
Because cost-wise, it just made sense to get the damn console. Because I remember when the Blu-ray players first came out, things were like $600 and $700. When they first,
no, sir. When Blu-ray players first came out, they were $1,000.
Okay, a little bit higher. I wasn't looking.
When the PlayStation 3 came out at $600. I mean, let me as the person in charge of putting people in line and giving out tickets and selling them when they hit. Nobody was buying a PlayStation 3 to play games. Very, very, very few. Nobody was willing to pay what they wanted to charge for it. The people who were buying PlayStation 3s were buying them because they were literally the least expensive Blu-ray player on the market by a minimum of $300. Their next closest, like Sony's next closest Blu-ray player, was $900. So them at $600 was
steal,
a big deal. And it was not only was it a cheaper Blu-ray player, it was arguably the best Blu-ray player at the time, because it was one of the only, like, people don't remember stuff like this, but Blu-ray players, they were the first machines like that for video that required internet
connection.
Your discs updated. If you remember when Blu-rays first came out, the previews on them didn't stay the same.
They switched. Yeah, I questioned that actually, and I didn't realize that until like a month or so in. Yeah. Like after I watched something and it was like, my mom was like, yeah, let's go ahead and watch this. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I watched the other day on this.
They updated the content, updated, it changed, and because it was a PlayStation, because it was a game system, because of what Microsoft did with with putting that Ethernet port on it being connected to the internet.
Oh, definitely got the remote.
Was a super important thing, and they needed. Not only did it have an Ethernet port on it, but it had Wi-Fi built into it, which like no Blu-ray players had. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Xbox 360 didn't have it. If you remember the 360,
they get the adapter.
In order to get Wi-Fi for it when it first came out. They didn't have Wi-Fi until like the Elite came out.
Yeah,
so
that joint was a G wireless connection. I
think when it first came out, it was a B.
Oh,
I think it was a B when it first came out. Yeah, it's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. again, man, they came through and kind of forced things to change. Cuddy said he bought that DVD remote to go with it.
I literally just said saying that. I did. That was part of how I could convince my mom to actually get that jump. It was exactly. Like, hey, mom, you can just get the remote and it just works just like anything else. Sad part, what really was the selling factor, I was like, hey, mom, James Bond come in that PlayStation box, right? She was like, wait, the new Casino Royale? I was like, that Casino Royale is on Blu-ray in the box.
I like what you did, jokes. Manipulation. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Be smooth, bro.
But damn straight, we definitely watched James Bond before I did anything else with that console.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
And that's how it was supposed to be.
Hey, mom, let's have a movie night. Then once we finish, all right, my turn.
You can have at it.
They tried to get me when they put them Spider-Mans in there, man. That's how they got me with the PS. Listen, the PSP, bro. That joint had that Spider-Man in it, dog. When they load that.
The UNDs,
bro. Dog. That joint had Spider-Man. I'm like, well, I mean, you gotta have one.
Oh God, we were watching the PSP back in high school. Good God.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's a good walk down the nostalgia trip. Now, since we're talking about PlayStation, let's talk about what they got popping because apparently they have 25 games in the works. 25 exclusive titles in the works for PlayStation 5 right now. And half of them are new IPs. Now, some of those 25, I'm sure, are ones that we know. Like, we know Forbidden West, you know what I mean? It's coming. We know
God of War 2.
God of War Ragnarok is coming. I think Ratchet and Clank is probably included in that. There are some smaller, lesser known. So in terms of new IP, like the Kena Bridge of Spirits joint is coming. There are several things coming. What are the chances another Last of Us is one of those joints that's coming? What do y'all think?
I hope it's not the remake that they're talking about doing.
The remake or the multiplayer?
Well, that's probably one of the titles. I mean, that's obviously not a new IP.
Or like the multiplayer thing. Because I remember they said that initially they weren't going to include multiplayer in 2, but they were going to do some like standalone thing just for the multiplayer for it.
Yeah.
John Legacy for Detonator.
It did.
But it was 2 of them. Because originally when it first dropped, there was the gray one. It only had the one antenna on it. Then they released the black one that had the two antennas on it.
That joint was.
I had to get that joint to match the Elite. So it was like
Wi-Fi. Well, I went without that joint for a long time, man. I kept that thing hardwired for a long time.
I ain't had that choice because that joint was definitely not in the same room at the time. So wireless it was.
Dang it. Yeah.
Outside of that multiplayer joint, I don't think it's a Last of Us 3 in that scenario.
I think we're still a ways off.
No?
Yeah.
I think 3
will be 25 titles. How much time? What kind of time frame do y'all think they
But you know what? Rewind. 3 could be a part of it. Because obviously they say that they're being made. But you know what? Release dates and all that good stuff probably attached to all these is probably so far out on some of them titles that part 3 could definitely be one of those that's actually in the works.
And let me tell y'all something. Listen, I don't know if I've ever had to actually do it on this show since we've been live, but y'all know one of the things that burns my britches about PlayStation more than anything else is them announcing games like 5 years ahead of time.
I hate it,
bro.
I hate it.
Why y'all talking about games that ain't coming for like 5 years? So like, I'm not saying like again, they saying 25 games. Some of those games are games we're probably not going to see for at least 4 years. I'm saying a minimum of 4 years, right? Like Last of Us Part 2 just happened. They're supposed to be doing the Last of Us multiplayer, which could be one of those titles, right? Remember, they're supposed to be working on like some sort of, so that's probably one title. We know there's a God of War 2 coming, but it wouldn't surprise me if a God of War 3 is in that slate.
Is in the mix.
Like you know what I mean? Like, what are the chances that the next God of War isn't going to do well enough for them to green light another one?
Highly doubt that.
No, it's going to do very well to be.
That joint is if that joint even is even on par with the first one, which we hoping, obviously is going to exceed it. But if it's on par with the first one, third one's greenlit.
Let me be the one. Let me throw this. Let me slap this on the table right now. God of War is the best PlayStation exclusive title of the entire PS4 slate, hands down. That joint is better than Last of Us 2. That joint is better than Spider-Man. And you know I don't want to say that. But that joint is better than Spider-Man. Spider-Man was crack, dog. I loved every minute of it. But that God of War joint,
dog,
that is a game that does what Last of Us does super well, which is tell a brilliant story that keeps you engrossed in it, that you want to see all the way to the end. The difference is God of War backs it up with brilliant gameplay. It feels good to play that game, to actually play it. It's a game. You're supposed to play it. It feels good to play that game. It feels good to fight things. It feels great to throw that axe and have it come back. It feels great to get the armor, to go through all the fights, to go. I have issues with it. I have issues with it.
Right.
That game needed a PlayStation 5 and an SSD so bad.
So bad.
That joint has the worst fast travel system I've ever seen in a game. Period. That joint is worse than elevators in Mass Effect. That joint is the worst. However,
we live those.
That game is still better than everything else that came out. Everything else that came out on PlayStation 4. Exclusive wise anyway, better than everything else that came out on PlayStation 4. There is no way. Listen, I'm not sure who I'm going to have to put my hands on to make it happen. But when the next God of War joint comes out, I will have a PS5.
Same here.
That joint is, because I'm going to tell you what's not going to happen. If they pull going into PS5 and put the new God of War joint on PS4, I'm not doing it. That joint will feel so broken. And I'm telling you, like, I'm spoiled now. I can't go back.
No, absolutely not. That would be a disservice.
I think that would be. And what them joints, I cannot go back.
It's a disservice. I would hope they don't focus on that. Like, there's no. You guys tried to draw that line, and it failed. But with a title like God of War, with the second one that's going to come out, just PS5 that junk.
Let me tell you something, Kay. You asked for this. Walk with me, sir. Let's go into a fast travel where we have to walk through the fast travel, and we cannot get out of the fast travel.
And there's nothing to do.
We're done talking because that joint is not done loading, bruh. That joint is the worst. There are places you can fast travel to in that game where it is faster to just go there than it is to use the fast travel system. That joint is the worst fast travel system ever. Period, bruh. Listen, at least look, the Mass Effect elevators, most people at the time, that game is hella old. Most people at the time had no idea that what they were dealing with was a loading screen. They didn't know it. So yes, they took a long time and you could feel it like, man, it's taking a long time. But you didn't really know that that's what you were dealing with. Now you know. So in hindsight, you look at them joints, you're like, man, them joints terrible. But at the time, them joints were brilliant. They were brilliant. How are we going to keep people in tune with the game or whatever when we have to load the way we have to load just to get you from one section of this same map to another section of the map? We'll put them in. We'll let them talk to each other. We develop different dialogue. So depending on who's in your party, you get different things. Like you can
news reports and stuff
with people you never used to have in your party and get dialogue you never heard. I guarantee you with stuff you never heard that is probably 100% some of the best dialogue you could have gotten in that game. But you didn't get it because you didn't keep so-and-so in your party or you let so-and-so die or you didn't pick whoever. But you could go back and do that. Them elevator joints are actually brilliant. What's up, Greg?
Greg.
But it's cool. Welcome to the party. Yeah, man, I ain't reaching. Hey, them God of War joints are garbage.
Yeah, that was worse.
Garbage. And like, I had to wait
for me on that one.
Listen, me and Sin was fast traveling at Outriders and had to wait for Ty's old slow Xbox. And that joint was excruciating because we were just looking at a flat screen. And that joint, listen, that joint
couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, we're sitting there like,
that joint swings to 80, and you just hold tight for a second, you be 100 and you in. That joint was at like 22, and I'm like, what's going on? Is this joint broke? This joint's sick today. I forgot Ty have a new Xbox.
Hey.
Finally, my man was like, "Oh, it might be me, my Xbox."
Yeah, that might be my box, man.
It might be me. Oh, it's definitely you, sir.
Yeah, that was Grand Theft Auto issues too. When we first had the box before he got his.
Dog, that was ridiculous. Like, I would come out the arcade, y'all be in the car like, dude, what's taking so long?
Where are you at, dude? He's ready to do this. The mission's ready.
It's the box.
Hey, dog, that joint was the new. Hey, y'all, let's jump in and play Rainbow Six. Oh, I can't find my disc, young. Hold on, I'm trying to find my disc. What do you mean trying to find your disc, man? We playing digital now, man. What you mean? Don't be looking for no disc. I can't find my joint. Why you don't put your disc back where they go? Put your joint back in the case. You know we gonna play this, Joe. Why we waiting, dog? That joint. Hey, look. I'm gonna let this go. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you got Rick rolled on that joint. I love you though, dog. Hey, listen. I'm gonna slap this up here just because of Off the Straight last week. My man went and watched that Invincible.
Okay, yes, sir.
Facts, G. Facts. That Invincible goes hard. Yeah, man. Listen, I think PlayStation right now is selling it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I feel like right now, man, like it's not necessarily that they're getting bad press. I just feel like they're not getting enough good press. Like it seems like every time you turn around, Microsoft is like, guess what we did? Oh, we just added FPS. We just made 70 old games. You know what I'm saying? 60 frames per second. We just made a bunch of old joints, 120 frames per second. Like you don't have to pay for them. You don't have to do nothing. The old developers don't even have to do nothing. Let me tell y'all how they drop. If you sign on to your Xbox right now, they got they have a section on there with a bunch. It's like a history of Xbox like games and stuff. Mm-hmm. Man, if I ain't listen, let me tell y'all. Listen. Let me get my controller real quick.
I'll put that on up right quick.
No. It ain't even like I re-downloaded Jade Empire.
Ooh.
And I don't know why I did it when I know I'm gonna start playing Mass Effect at midnight. I don't know why I did it. I have to, dog. Jade Empire is crap, dog.
Jade Empire was fire.
That joint is easily one of my favorite games from the OG Xbox, and it's one of the things. It's like one of the highest crimes I feel like ever that joint never got a sequel. And I don't know who owns the IP. I don't know if I don't think Xbox owns the IP.
I believe
I'm pretty sure they don't, because I feel like if they did, they would have tried
already done it.
Done. But man, listen, if they not with the relationship that they've developed with EA, adding EA Play to game, man, if they don't find a way to make it doesn't have to be the original people. It could be one of their other teams. I'd be okay. Somebody else did it. But Jade Empire was fire, and I would love for them to do another one of them joints. Oh, yeah. Love for them to do it. 25 games. That's a lot of games.
It is.
Over the course of 5 years, that's a lot of games. Like, you're not getting 5 games a year from them. I mean, you could. Like, you get smaller games, right? Mm-hmm. You got to figure
indie titles and stuff like that.
Right. Maybe 2 games a year that are...
Them big AAAs? Nah.
I mean, but you got to figure, right? Like, what are you supposed to say and what are you supposed to do when, like, right now people are speculating that, like, Forza's coming, Forza Horizon's coming, and all the new Bethesda joints are coming, and you know what I mean. Like there's so much coming on the Xbox side. Like you got to say something. Like you got.
And most of your news is, yeah, we might have PlayStations. Like might be a regular thing to get until next year,
till 2022.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a redesign potentially when that actually even happens anyway.
Well, no, they are doing a redesign. So what they're doing is they're redesigning one of the chips. So that because of the chip shortage, this will keep them from having the need for that chip, which will help them produce it. If they're not unable to do that design, it might be 2023 before them joints become readily available. Mm-hmm. So that'll be ugly. Man, my man said that got to open your 5. Yeah, that joint's gonna be gone. It's gonna be crap.
Jade Empire's BioWare.
Yeah, it's BioWare.
Yeah.
It's essentially Knights of the Old Republic / Mass Effect, but it's like
martial arts. Yeah,
it's like an old school martial arts joints with powers, man. That joint is fire, bro. That joint is fire, bro. Like,
well, I may get that with those points I got from buying Mass Effect.
Right up.
6,000
early
points.
onset of like biotic abilities and stuff like that. Like the stuff that they could do, man, that joint is fire, bro. The characters are dope. Like that joint is.
I definitely had 2 playthroughs on that joint.
Yeah.
Good one and a bad one.
Kay said, "Well, I doubt it's 5 games a year because they don't have enough consoles in a while." I disagree.
They'll still do it.
I disagree. 9 million consoles, yeah, like 9 million consoles in the wild is a lot of consoles. They've already outsold what the PlayStation 4 had in the same time frame. Yeah,
face
like, get that joint with your last dose, with your final dose of MCU, dog. Get your PlayStation 5.
Oh.
The Fantastic Four is standing between you and a PlayStation
5. Facts, man. Could be. Like I really think like they announced 2 new controller colors today. The red joint. The blue. I know you. Listen. I immediately, as soon as I saw that red joint, I was like, "Oh, joke's gonna be."
Dog, look.
I know you're gonna buy it, even though you don't got a PlayStation 5.
I'm just gonna have to be playing games on my phone. That joke about to get paired up Bluetooth with that joke. That red joint clean.
They both look good, but I was like, I don't got a console, so I don't care.
I keep saying that, but I don't want the controller to go away. Like if this is going to be one of those limited, I don't. Did they specifically say limited or not?
I didn't see limited.
They just said new colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I probably will.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The first thing I'm doing when I get a PlayStation 5, I'm painting it.
Yeah, I can't deal with
that
the white
joint. That joint's not staying. I'm gonna take that joint apart and I'm going to paint it. I'm gonna pay Jose. Somebody
we know gonna be able to do that.
That joint's getting done.
Loaded Snacks logo gonna be put on the side of that joint, or I don't know it, but it ain't staying that base white at all.
Right on the side of that joint, dog. Oh, Spider-Man or something, dog. It's going down. Like there's no way. There's no way that joint's going down. Like I wouldn't have kept the original white 360. It went for the faceplates.
Oh, true facts.
I was pressed over those faceplates, bro.
Facts.
Man, at one point I remember them joints dropped to like $1 at Best Buy. Man,
I don't know how many of them I caught. Every different one. I just went ahead and just grabbed them joints. Like, it just rang me up for
all of them joints, bro.
No, damn well I wasn't even going to change to any of them. I was like, what the fuck?
Man, I had a faceplate on that joint look like wood grain. That joint was
I remember that joint.
Fire, bro. Yeah, man. My man say regardless of how many are out, they already said their targets are outside PS4 in the second year. And I mean, but here's the thing, and they probably still will.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing about it is, you don't have to get one. The scalpers are still gonna buy them.
Yep, and they sold. Who cares?
It's not, you know what I mean? Like sold is sold, right? Now, what that again, we've had this discussion. What that does mean for them though is that if scalpers have them, scalpers do eventually move that product, right? Regardless of how much more they charge for them or whatever, right? But when scalpers have them, Sony can't do what their plan is, which is to make money off of them. So I don't know if y'all saw this. So we talked a little bit last week about some of the news that was coming out from the Epic and Apple trial, right? Yeah. And like news about Sony stuff and Microsoft stuff or whatever. One of the things that came out, they had one of the vice presidents from Microsoft on the stand under oath, and they asked if Microsoft turns a profit on consoles.
And they said flat out no?
They said no. Never. They never have. They don't at all. And the reason why they were on the stand is because part of what Epic is trying to say about Apple having a monopoly / unfair advantage is that Apple sells and makes a ridiculous amount of money. There's a ridiculous amount of margin in the core product they sell. So iPhones make a crap ton of money. They make money on the Apple TV. They make money on iMacs. They make money on iPads. So the difference between the fact that Microsoft and Sony charge the same 30% that Apple charges is that they need that additional 30% to offset the cost of the box that they're selling you. Sony and Microsoft, who don't generally make money on their consoles, according to Microsoft, under oath at all. Like, you see them do like redesigns and kind of refreshes, and we know that over time, like the cost of the parts and stuff comes down.
Right.
But when you redesign it or whatever, I guess it's not enough. It might be bringing that cost down, but it's not enough to make it that they're making a profit on them. So that being the case, there is actually a business reason for them to charge the people who sell product in their stores that additional 30% cost, where Apple doesn't need to do that because they already make a high margin off of the original product itself.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the way that works out, you need to be able to sell games. But again, we also talked about organic growth like a couple of weeks ago, and just knowing that means making more money off the same people, which is easier to do when you have a digital marketplace. When you can put things in front of people that's already right there, and all they have to do is say, yes, I want it. You know what I mean? I have your money, and here it is. And they make more money when they do it that way. So the fact that Sony right now is still looking at total number of consoles sold as a metric for how they measure their success is only going to last for probably another 2 years anyway. Because sometime between now and then, Sony will come out with whatever their cloud thing is.
Right.
Period. What they actually said themselves as we began to wind down the end of last generation that continuing to count console sales doesn't make sense anymore. That doing what Microsoft is doing and talking about the sheer number of people that are on your network, how many people, because again, data is king, and Microsoft and Sony have your data in droves. They know who's playing, when you're playing, where you play, what time frames, who your friends are, how often you do it, what kind of games to put in front of you, how to advertise to you. They have data they can sell about you and what your habits are and how you do it. And as more people, especially after last year, the sheer number of people who just started gaming again or became gamers or are now interested in the possibility of getting a game system, the fact that they can't get one means Game Pass is already a bigger deal than it would have been under other circumstances, right? Sony will have an answer for that. They will. What it's going to be, we don't know yet. But they already know that continuing to count boxes isn't going to be the way to keep the people that pay them in that. Yeah, G. You know what that is, bro. You know what I'm saying? They know they're not going to be able to keep doing it that way. They know they need to be able to sell controllers, right? So we're in a bind. People got PlayStations now. There's 9 million of them. Let's put out new controllers. You don't have to put out different colors. You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of thing that makes people who already have a controller that don't need another controller
and go out and buy one.
Go buy another controller. That's how you make more money off of the same number of people. Period. Right? So you're trying to turn a customer into a repeat customer. And the difference between that and any brick and mortar place is you got to get up and go there. Now the store's in your house, bro. Joining on your phone.
Hey, you gotta leave.
It's in the palm of your hand.
Exactly, bro. Like if I'm downloading joints from Game Pass
every day almost.
I ain't even paying for those games.
Like, let me let that download on the box. That's there when I get back.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. You right, G. That business acumen, man. That's sustainable long term.
Oh yeah, and Marcus,
high cap turns, dog.
Hey Marcus, that company still exists, but they can't do the faceplates. They've switched up to vinyls now because they were called Plate Station. So you know they got the cease and desist off of that. Like, oh no.
My man said that white controller getting dirty. I feel you.
Oh no,
I feel you. And somebody's gonna sell you a cleaner.
Yep.
I'm just like, think about the companies that exist that don't do anything but make peripherals for other people's consoles. Mad Cats, PDP, like their entire business model is waiting for somebody else to put something out for them to make a fake version of. You know what I'm saying? Like they live sheerly off of that. And for those of y'all who have worked Best Buy, like I did, a lot of y'all in the comments, we know each other from there. Like, y'all know what the markup on that crap is, bruh. Y'all know it's high. It's all high margin. Y'all know that. They make crazy money on it. So, you know, if PlayStation is like, well, we'll just put out another controller. We'll make it a different color. Charge the same amount for it. You know they're making probably half.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that controller is $70, I think.
I think it's $75.
With the haptic feedback or whatever. So I'm, you know, they pulling in, you know, probably half of that for everyone sold. That's pretty solid, bruh. You know what I'm saying? they're paying for 2 controllers with every one that they sell.
75.
Think about that for a second.
God, I want this.
You know what I'm saying? They paying for 2 controllers with every one that they sell. Are the color 175 jokes?
They are 75.
Kay saying 70, so the white ones must be
70 for the regular, 70 for the regular, and it's 75 for the color ones.
Okay.
Gotta pay for that dye, bro.
I guess.
It is what it is.
Gotta pay for that dye, bro. Yeah, man, that's tricky. That's tricky. I ain't super happy about that. All right, look, let's do this. I want to talk about E3 for a second. I want to get into a few predictions for Nintendo. We'll talk about some other stuff next week and the week after. We're definitely gonna be talking about Mass Effect next week because we're gonna be playing that. But I want to talk about Nintendo. So Nintendo hasn't technically been at E3 directly for I don't know years now. But they have said that they're participating this year. They always do the treehouse, and you know they do it direct. So they stopped doing like an in-person
type thing,
right?
That doesn't really matter this year, right? Now, before we get started, I'm gonna do this. Right now, the latest rumor is that there is a new Donkey Kong game in development by the team that did Mario Odyssey. I'm gonna leave that out there before I ask for predictions. Sin, I'm gonna start with you. I mean, I could just say, give me some predictions. Mark is already in there. That No More Heroes 3. You know it exists, right? Like, so I'm sure we'll see it. But are we getting a new console? Are we going to see a new console at E3?
Nope. Not yet.
No new console.
No.
Are we getting an update to the Switch at E3? Whether you would consider that a new console or not.
Possibly.
Okay, possibly. That's not a yes. That's not a no. I don't like that as a prediction. However, I know how you like to play the game.
Let's play both sides of the fence of it.
All right. Do we get a new Mario game? Mario's 25th anniversary went past. 35th anniversary went past. They gave us Mario 35 and a half-ass set of re-releases, ports. Are we getting anything from Mario?
If we get something from Mario, it's not going to be like a Mario Odyssey or Mario 64 or something like that.
Mario Party.
It'll be something along that vein. A Mario Party, Mario Strikers or something like that.
It is time. I feel like it's time for a new Mario Kart. I think 8 has been shoved around how many different times?
I'm with you with that. A lot.
I do think it's time for 9. Okay. I don't, just like you said, I don't think we'll see the mainline Mario thing. Now, I will piggyback off of what's in. I don't think we will see the new console, but I think it will be talked about. I do think they will talk about it just for the sheer fact, like we know Samsung apparently is doing the displays and things for the new console. So ironically, kind of we know it exists. So I feel like Nintendo is going to go ahead and give us some information about it. Like the Switches are already selling like crazy. They've been selling like crazy. I don't think it's going to hurt them to go ahead and drop some information about a new system.
How dangerous is that when we already know there's a chip shortage and that the availability of the Switch itself is already an issue?
Being that we don't
show something, if they talk about something, are we getting it this year?
No, I don't think it's this year.
If we're not getting it this year, I don't think they talk about it. Because I think they want to sell Switches. If they're not going to put out a new console this year, not everybody can do what Microsoft did. Microsoft actually came out and was like, hey, we put out a new console. And just like, you know what I mean? And people was like, well, then why would I buy when y'all putting out Nintendo doesn't work like that. I don't have Nintendo coming out and saying, yeah, I know there is this Switch. We putting out another Switch. We putting out a better Switch, a bigger, you know what I mean? That would possibly cannibalize their own sales of the Switch when the Switch is doing so well without them doing anything. You know what I mean?
No, I think they will, because I think what they're going to try to aim for is
exactly
more of the. I mean that is true. We know they can't keep up with, but I think
the question is, are they having trouble keeping up with the demand of the Switch because they're using components to make a new console,
which is a potential.
Correct.
And I think at this point now, I really think they'll lean, because obviously there's a certain Nintendo has their own lane. Like I've said this multiple times on here. They have their own lane. They stay in it. They do what they know how to do, and they just have at it. I think in introducing the newer console, one, I think they're going to try to aim at a different type of client or a different type of customer than anything, especially if we're talking these higher end OLED screens, or whether it ends up being, we talked about like the dock with the 4K output or whatnot ever. Yeah. But I think this is also going to tie in this. Now here, this is one of my predictions. I do think there is going to be some type of a deeper connection between Nintendo and Microsoft. We've already seen the partnerships where certain games have transitioned over. Octopath Traveler, for example, we've seen certain characters being bounced between.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler is
it's Square. It's
Square.
It's Square. I get it.
Okay,
but I do think there is going to be some type of deeper connection there. Just for the same fact, Nintendo has the lane
give me like, in what way though? Like, what do you think we're gonna see?
I think we will get, outside of like the Ori games, like something like that. I think we're going to see another Microsoft title that's going to show up on the Switch. Something, maybe not necessarily the newest Halo, but hey, let's say Halo 2. No. Something. This is an example.
No.
I'm not specifically saying Halo.
But we're making predictions, bro. Get specific.
Yes. So you want me to get? Let's go.
You want me to do it for you?
Let's do it.
Battletoads.
Battletoads would be a good one for it.
I think Banjo-Kazooie.
And we've talked about that many of times, because that's who showed up in Smash Bros.
Banjo-Kazooie comes to Game Pass and comes to Switch, but you got to buy it for Switch. That's where I'm at.
But
I don't know who's making it. I don't think it's Rare. I think somebody else does it.
New Mass Effect on Switch. I don't know about that. I don't know about them. On the newer hardware, yes. If that newer hardware is announced, I think there's a potential. Not on current.
You got sex with aliens in it. They're not putting that on Nintendo.
Yeah, they will. The Witcher 3 is on there. You have sex with people.
Stop it. They will.
Yeah,
especially with people. Hey, imagine being able to play Mass Effect on. Never mind, you actually will be able to play Mass Effect on the go, because you have
Go-Go 13, the professional, on the original NES, and my man was definitely GTD on that joint. He got them draws on that joint, like straight up go into the hotel room and walk in that joint, get close and take the lights out, bro. Like it was no two ways. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Jerry, the franchise.
The franchise.
Man said I made it with some game talk. Yeah, but did you make a TikTok though?
There's the question. There's the question.
I mean, yeah, I think they could put a Mass Effect on Switch. I don't think they put the new Mass Effect on Switch.
They made this trilogy. This one is just now about to drop.
Microsoft doesn't own Mass Effect. EA owns Mass Effect, and they own BioWare, who makes Mass Effect. So could we see it on Switch? Absolutely. That's gonna be ugly, but they could do it. My man said he ain't make no TikTok yet. All right, that's cool. It's coming though. I can tell. Yeah, I can see a Banjo. I can see Banjo-Kazooie coming to both platforms, right? But obviously being available on Game Pass gives Microsoft an advantage. You have to buy it if you get it on Nintendo platform. But I could also see something like DLC that gives you some sort of like Mario related or some kind of an outfit or something like that. I could maybe see Nintendo characters coming to Minecraft, some new Nintendo characters, something like that aren't or haven't been there before, coming to Minecraft, something like that.
Hey, get some type of like Mario armor and Halo. So one of them you can kind of switch out. You can switch out for
Diablo 4. Marcus, you think Diablo 4 is coming to the Switch? I mean, I think we will absolutely see Diablo 4.
I know I swing for the fences. I think that's a Monstrous.
Metroid, huh? Yeah, like Metroid armor in Halo would be dope.
Hey. That makes more sense.
Hey, that could be it right there.
That I can see. You know what? Here's the thing. I absolutely think we're gonna get a new Mario Kart. I don't think we get Mario Kart 9.
Oh. Mario Kart 8.1 remix
HD.
No.
No. I think they're gonna Smash Brothers that joint. I think they're gonna do a Mario Kart and they're gonna add all kinds of characters from all kinds of other games into Mario Kart instead of just Mario characters. Like just like what you see in Smash Brothers, I think you will see a run of DLC tracks, vehicles, and characters specifically for it. And I think you will begin to see, like, instead of it just being the regular, like, everybody knows who the blue shell is, everybody knows who the red shell is, like, I think
start getting stuff
specific points. Like, I think there will be things that actually are variables that give you another reason to go and download those characters besides, like, it basically, like, this character has the same speed and output and whatever as, like, Yoshi. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Because you already have a lot of that, right? So I think the need to differentiate what Mario Kart is, you know, they've done bikes and whatever. I think we get F-Zero vehicles in the new Mario Kart. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, Mario Kart, because right now Mario Kart 8 is like the best selling game on the Switch, and that joint is from the Wii U.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, at this point, there almost is no reason for them to do another Mario Kart, except for let's build on what people have. So anybody who's new to Switch, who grabbed the Mario Kart, here's why you should get another Mario Kart. It has to be more than, we just have new Mario Kart with more tracks. You got to give me something.
Games as a service, pretty much.
Correct. Like they got to start really. That's what I think that's my expectation for Nintendo, is that, like, while Nintendo is very slow to get on what their online stuff is and to get on, like, just stupid things, man, like friend codes and whatever. Like, the thing that I think Nintendo is going to have to do and will start to do is really, really look at games as a service, because they've already started to kind of dig into that, into those things on the mobile side. So they know that there's potential for it there with the console, right? And I know that they are watching very closely what everyone else is doing in terms of having something that's a game as a service. And when you look at what Smash Brothers was this time around, it was essentially a game as a service, right?
They're leaning in that direction.
They just kept adding more DLC, adding new stages with new music and new backgrounds and new, like, they would, like, when they would add something to it, it wasn't just like, oh, here's this $5 character. It was like, it was a big deal every time they did it, right? So the only other property they have that really has that same kind of potential, in my opinion, is Mario Kart, because anybody can be in that joint, and you could pull characters like Joker. You could pull Master Chief, Banjo. You could, you know what I mean? Like,
Master Chief and the Warthog racing around on the track.
What?
And you got the gun turret on the back, and that joke can shoot out or whatever. Hey, that'd be a dope co-op joke that you could throw a second player on the back of the Warthog.
Yeah, Mario Kart doesn't really have. It doesn't really have, like, they've done DLC, like they did the Mercedes cars.
Yeah.
In that joint, like, there are.
And they've done, like, Zelda. They added
additional tracks and like Zelda's there. Yeah, I'm talking about going all out. I'm talking about Samus. You know what I mean? Like, again, like the way they do Smash. You know what I mean? Like, having Solid Snake, having Cloud from Final Fantasy, really
put a little Mac in there with the little bicycle. The coach be pulling the horn.
Little Mac on the bicycle. Look, coach.
Yep.
On the back of that joint with Lil Mac running behind them, dog. Tell me that wouldn't be fire in Mario Kart.
They just take all the Smash characters. Like, you literally, all the characters they use, they're in Smash. Like, they literally just say, hey, at the same time, you know what? They're going to announce, like, 2 new characters in Smash. And you know what? These 2 characters are also going to come to Mario Kart. Like, they're going to end up trying to put them all in a couple different places.
Pikachu in a Mario Kart somehow.
Right. Like,
hey, if you put Charizard in a Mario Kart, you damn it, you gonna have me playing damn
Man,
Mario Kart.
They had you regardless. Stop it.
man.
I don't play Mario Kart like
right. That they have that has a potential for growth in some manner like that would be what's the shooter?
Splatoon. No.
But you can't put other characters in Splatoon. Like nobody else can like dive and dip into the ink and all that kind of stuff like they can. So it's like it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario Kart, yeah, like they did a Mario Tennis recently. It's time for another Mario basketball game, I'm sure.
I know they got the golf one coming out that I want.
Yeah. And that joint's gonna be a thing. And I think we'll get a deep dive in that joint.
I know.
Yeah,
hey, you ain't see? I put that post up, and damn near the whole world came on that thing. Like, what do you mean wouldn't happen? Like,
about? My man G said, new Zelda, new Metroid, new Punch Out, new GoldenEye. That ain't happening.
Nah,
new AEW, no mercy. AEW, no mercy.
There is a good chance we do see at E3 like some more info on that. But Kenny Omega said the game is still early. It's still in super early phases. So I
say some Diva in Mario Kart.
Oh, you know
what I'm saying?
May. Give me my girl May all day.
You know what I'm saying? Mario Kart May.
Hey, let's go. MMA.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
that's a whole thing, bro. Like real talk. Like, I think there's more potential in that than almost anything else. Now, are we going to see Breath of the Wild 2?
No.
Only if there's mention of the new console.
No, they might give.
I feel like their whole Breath of the Wild 2 for the new console.
Mm-hmm. Only if they talk about the new console, because those dates will line up. If they show it, there is going to be absolutely no release date. The only thing we're going to get is a Breath of the Wild and a number 2 or potentially the title.
We've already seen it though. Like they've already shown us footage of the game. Like we know the game is being worked on. And this, like they showed us the footage of the game running. It's just,
but we won't.
They'll show it.
They'll show it. I only think it'll get talked about if they talk about the new console.
I mean, I almost feel like they Metroid Prime 4 got pushed back. I feel like they have to talk about that. If that joint is even close to being ready, they need to talk about that.
I think Metroid will be talked about, whether it's 4 or whether they're talking about bringing all the other ones over to the Switch and like a compilation package or something.
Because at this point
Metroid
now,
Prime 1 through 3.
At this point now, when did we first hear about Metroid 4? Because I was working at the bank.
3 years ago or something.
I was at the bank sitting in the break room when they first announced, just threw the 4 up on the screen. So
it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And then I want to say it was year before last that they announced that they were like scrapping the whole thing and going back to starting and starting a new joint. So I don't.
I know. Can I get my Bayonetta 3 release date?
There we go.
I've been asking for that for how long?
No.
That could be a crossover with Game Pass.
I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 is a Zelda for the Switch, but I mean, let's keep it a buck. It is, in fact, Breath of the Wild that sold Switches.
I'm about a new Star Fox. I am about a new Star Fox.
Are you? I'm asking a new Kid Icarus too. Jokes don't know what that is, but
I know what Kid Icarus is. Wasn't my thing. No, I do know what Kid, but it wasn't my thing.
Would you say you want
a new Stunt Race FX? That was fire.
I mean, all right.
Hey, swing. Hey, is that a prediction? Is that a prediction?
No,
you gonna get it? Or
did you ever make a Excite Truck for the Wii?
No.
You don't even remember that being a thing, do you?
No, I'm very, very vaguely when you mention it.
Beautiful Joe could be a big deal, but I think the guy that made Beautiful Joe.
That the spiritual successor.
Something else, yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, what was that joint they did? No more. Not no more. Shoot, it was a joint. It was like 100 of them, like 100 heroes or whatever. It was
like gosh, I have it. Oh, it's by Platinum Games.
Yeah.
Oh, I have it. It was. Oh,
I was playing. It was a week.
The Wonderful 101.
101. Yep. That was a spiritual successor. So Hey,
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, Bomberman's out. We don't care about Bomberman.
Didn't they just drop a Bomberman recently?
They did, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Not saying on Nintendo, but like I know they just dropped one recently, so that's not. No.
Yeah, that new Bayonetta is definitely a thing. Like Bayonetta 3 it's been taking too long. Now,
Please.
when you say a partnership between them and Microsoft, it wouldn't surprise me if Bayonetta 3 makes it to Microsoft.
I do think do that thing some more service and have that thing being able to play on the box. You give 1 and 2 get a nice little another upgrades or whatnot ever, and then you throw 3 on the box too.
Do we get Mario and the Raving Rabbids 2? No. Ubisoft don't even. They just not.
You don't think they're gonna focus on that realm anymore?
Wait, hold on. That was that little.
That jump became fire.
RPG kind of joint.
People love that jump. People love that jump.
That joint was a beast, and it's been that joint came out like I want to say the second year the Switch was out.
I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say yeah. I can see that. I can see that getting announced. Because now I remember I did play like a demo of it or something.
Really well together. You know what I mean?
So I remember playing like a demo or something for it. It was kind of dope.
Did we get like a new Hyrule Warriors?
Didn't one of those already come out not too long ago, I think?
Yeah. We get a new one. I'm just asking if we get a new one.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
All right. Did we get a new Kirby?
No.
Okay. No new Kirby. Okay. G said a new Castlevania. I don't think that happens. I'm gonna tell you why. Castlevania is owned by Konami, and Konami is making their money making pachinko. And right now, I think if anything is happening, somebody between Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, probably not Nintendo, is trying to get Konami to agree to let them have control of those IP. Silent Hill, anything Metal Gear. Like, you know, there have been a lot of rumors about Xbox and Kojima teaming up. And there are a lot of rumors swirling around that Microsoft is in talks with Konami to possibly try to get
Greg, we've been talking about
the licenses in order to be able to do that. So
we've been talking about a Def Jam jump, but it's just to do all the music, even if it's a remaster like that. That is just so difficult. I would love.
I'm glad there's a new boxing game coming.
Yeah.
If they do a new Def Jam, it won't be debuted. It won't be something Nintendo showing.
Hell to the no.
It won't be a Nintendo thing. I think there will be some quirky things that we're not expecting from Nintendo. I don't think it's time for a new Pikmin. I guess we have to get a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
That already came. No, that came out already. That came out last when it was supposed to.
Because the Olympics was supposed to happen. So
the Tokyo. Yeah, that happened.
Maybe they'll do some sort of an update or something. We'll talk about that.
I can see that. I can see an update coming.
I definitely think that.
And probably some new events, some new characters, update rollout right around the Olympic time or something like that. Yeah. I can see that. That'd be a smart move.
The Yoshi's Island. Now, it is high time for a fresh Yoshi game. Yeah, I won't deny that at all. Yoshi's Island. A Yoshi's Island could very easily be what we get instead of getting a Mario Odyssey 2. Since Yoshi's Island was basically Super Mario World 2. Like, they could do that. Will we see some sort of a Mario Maker? A Zelda Maker? A Mario Maker 3?
That actually's kind of...
Metroid Maker could be dope, but obviously, again, they don't own the IP.
New Maker, I think spreading out to a different IP for the Maker series could be kind of cool.
They just did like Nintendo Maker.
Because that Mario Maker, like these people have made
they did the NES remix joints, like, and those are pretty cool. They did 2 of those, so it could be time for them to do like some SNES remix joints. All right, listen.
N64 Mini.
So I was literally just getting ready to say that. We got an NES Mini and we got an SNES Mini. We never got an N64 Mini. We know they're probably not going to be able to come out with a new Switch Pro. N64 Mini?
I think so. Yep. They would be so wrong to not do that. The amount that they will sell the hell out of those.
How am I hating on Nintendo? What did I say, G? What you mean?
I don't know, but apparently you're a hater.
I don't know. You hater. I'm a hater.
I am a hater. I am a hater. I don't specifically hate Nintendo, but I'm a hater.
Yeah, I'd get that Mini 64 ASAP.
Yeah.
They announced that.
I know it. So hold on. If they do an N64 Mini, What games have to be on it?
Well, GoldenEye is going to be on it. I know that's not
No,
necessarily.
it's not. No, it's not.
You don't think so?
They don't own that. They can't.
I know
they don't own Rare. Hold on. They don't own Rare, and they got to go through Disney/Fox.
That joint was Fox?
Pretty sure all of the Bond joints were Fox property. I think they're MGM now. I think MGM owns
MGM is that. Yeah, MGM.
So they would have to get permission for that. You have to get permission to redo all those people's likenesses, which is why when they did the like pseudo
type of likenesses they have in N64,
it had Daniel Craig was in it, because you got to go get Pierce Brosnan, and like you got to get all of them people, because you got to use Sean Bean, like you got to get all their likenesses.
You better make them. You better make them look exactly how they did in the N64 game, and not really be able to recognize them.
Hey dog, you can recognize them, dog. Listen, if it was you would want to get paid for that joint. That's all I'm saying.
What you mean? Of course I would have get paid for that.
Exactly. And I don't have Nintendo. Yeah, I don't have Nintendo putting up the money to put that on the 64. So let's get beyond GoldenEye. Let's just take GoldenEye off the list.
We know they would put Mario 64 on it, Star Fox 64.
Yeah. Okay.
Pilot Wings.
I was gonna say Pilot Wings.
64.
Diddy Kong, probably Diddy Kong Racing, maybe, because we haven't. Hey, speaking of that, what if they did a new version of that? I like Diddy Kong Racing.
Again, I think all they do
he's in Mario Kart now.
Whatever Mario Kart is.
He's in Mario Kart. Don't need it.
Please keep in mind that Diddy Kong Racing, also made by Rare, who Nintendo no longer owns.
Oh, you're right. Okay. They
own the character. Like, they own Diddy Kong, so they can do a Diddy Kong Racing if they want to. But, like, again, that's Rare. Mini 64.
They can put Majora's Mask on there.
Is there a Tecmo Bowl 64? G?
I believe it is. I think
Tecmo Bowl. All right, so look. WWE No Mercy. Nintendo don't own it. Should it be on it? Yes. Yep. They don't own it. But F-Zero, Star Fox 64, can't do Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime wasn't on 64. That was on Wii.
You got Donkey Kong 64.
Cold now. Corporate haters. All right.
They may put the original
Paper Mario can go in there.
Yeah.
They may
put the original Pokemon Stadium on there, possibly.
Pokemon Snap.
The original Snap could possibly go on there.
Mario Party.
Ugh. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, you had two Zeldas. You had Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time.
Those both have to be on there.
Gotta
Those both have Mario 64, both Zeldas have to be on there. People will buy it with just those 3 games on it.
By itself.
Yeah.
The problem is that I feel like one of the things about the N64 is the big deal is that it has 4 controllers, so you have to have games that 4 people can play.
Wave Race 64.
WCW.
Wave Race.
NWO. There was I feel like there was another wrestling game.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania was.
I don't know. By youths who did that engine before they got the license for like it was a bunch of people nobody knew. I feel like there was a game that they did that was basically the same engine before the first WCW like versus NWO joint came out. Either way, again, the issue with those joints is licensing, who owns it. Like WCW don't even exist.
No.
Like
No Mercy. See, it's WWF No Mercy, WCW NWO Revenge, WrestleMania 2000.
Are you looking at just like games that you made, or are you just looking at wrestling games on N64?
Wrestling games on N64, trying to.
I mean, I could be tripping, but yeah. I mean, I don't. There are some joints that like Quest 64, I guess, but who actually cares? Again, that's only one player. Like, I feel like, again, you got to do the original Mario Kart. You got to do Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are joints they could put. Mario Kart 64, I feel like, would be the standout again. If you do that joint and you sell extra controllers for that joint, it's just basically 4 USB ports in the front that look like the, you know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine those little small ass N64 controllers.
Now, they wouldn't be smaller controllers. I think the controllers would be the same, the regular size. Like the other controllers were regular size.
Hey, just make an adapter. Just make an expensive ass adapter that you can hook your actual N64 controllers up to that junk. Because I damn sure enough still have like every one of them damn colors in the bin right now. World Tour. I do remember. Yeah.
World Tour was fire, dog. All of them joints are fire, dog.
They all do, all in the same engine. And that's what makes me.
I'll never forget the first time I bust somebody's head open in that joint, bro. I was like,
dog, and you pass out, dog. That look.
They never got rid of that animation, dog, and I loved it. What? I used to be pressed. Let me get this chair, this bat, whatever. Jump out the ring and go over to the side of the joint.
And that's what's amping me up for.
I don't want this trash can. I want a chair, dog. Like, let me get this joint.
And that's what's amping me up for that AEW one whenever they finally get that put in. Like,
that joint was crack, bruh. I used to love that joint, dog. Crack, dog. That joint, man, listen, playing 4-player versus in any of them wrestling joints, you bust somebody head open, dog. We used to play matches just who could bust somebody's head open first.
Yep.
Once you bust somebody's head open, the match is over, dog. That's so clean.
It start twitching on the ground. That little random, that little twitch. Like, come on, get up.
This jump. Once you hear that and see that joint, see the little animation, dang, dog. God, that joint was the best, bruh.
Classic.
Yeah, I need that joint in my life, dog. I really do, yo. I need that joint in my life. I wish that joint wasn't so ugly. I play that joint right now. That joint is so ugly, dog. It's so ugly. I remember feeling like that joint looked so good, man. They had like intros and stuff on the background.
WWE still had that partnership, man. Screw 2K22. If you just had taken that jump, redid it, and bought it up, dog, they would have had the most perfect thing to actually release out for it. But
man, let me tell you the most facts. Those games, WrestleMania 2000, WWC, NWO, Nitro, them joints ruined the SmackDown games for me. All the SmackDown joints are garbage. All of them. Every last one of them joints, pure garbage, because none of them hold a candle to that joint.
Nah.
And the closest thing we got
was Def Jam.
That Def Jam joint is crack. To this day, bruh.
Just give us something.
Dog. I never wanted to beat a rapper up so bad in my entire life, dog.
Joey Crack.
Rappers nobody even care about now. Comp. Like,
you already know. Elephant Man and Sean Paul all day. They get these hands all day.
Going to town, dog. Why Beanie Man ain't get on that joint, bro? That would have been clean, dog. Like, yeah, like, real talk. Yeah, they ruined them joints for me. Them SmackDown joints. I remember every time a SmackDown would come out, people would be running to the store to get them joints. And I'd be like, man, hey, you can have this.
After garbage, I think it was Shut Your Mouth. I think Shut Your Mouth was the one that that was the second one, and that was the one that kind of took took that franchise and put it where it needed to be at. But then they started going a little bit over the top with some of the later iterations of it. But I think Shut Your Mouth was the one that cemented the SmackDown games in place. But the
joint that was on the original Xbox that we was talking about earlier,
Raw, dog.
That joint had basically the same engine as the N64 joints did.
And not to mention that joint looked clean. Finos on the original Xbox. That
it probably doesn't now.
It'd be terrifying to go back.
Dog, you make me want to go hook that. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go to YouTube and watch.
Just look it up on YouTube. Yeah, just look it up on YouTube.
Just watch someone.
You gonna find out the hard way, man.
Ew.
Yes, sir.
You gonna find out the hard way. All right, so look, I think those are some decent predictions for Nintendo. We'll talk about what we think is coming from like Ubisoft and EA. EA Play finally announced that they're not doing E3. They're actually not doing EA Play until they're doing that July 22nd. So they pushed that joint like a month and a half out.
They just trying to get in time E3. For it. NCAA and Madden probably. Actually, they ain't doing the NCAA this year. I think that's not until next year.
I think the NCAA is not coming this year anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's next year.
I did see that they passed litigation that the college players get paid though.
Ooh.
That happened like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's very interesting. We'll see how that all turns out. Yeah, man, we need to wrap this up. I haven't played Outriders at all today. So
before midnight.
I'll say we better get our last playthroughs of that in, for that's
getting ready to get pushed to the side. All right, so y'all know the drilly. Appreciate all y'all being here in the chat, hanging out with us in the comments and so forth. We had a good show. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Jokes, you have a job to do. If you would do that, I greatly appreciate it. So y'all know the drill. That link tree right there will help you get to anywhere we are. We are in all of the places that you'll see in that link tree. And I don't know, it's like 8. I don't know, it's a bunch of joints.
Yes, Marcus. Somebody said Outriders.
Facts. You know, again, we appreciate the support on Patreon. It's been growing, and it's really good to see. We're gonna continue to use Patreon as a place to kind of pilot some of the stuff that we're working on before we get it out to the general population. My man said he wants some more beats and beatdowns.
Hey.
We, you know, again are looking at we're gonna start doing a like a movie club, and so we'll be doing a movie every month. We'll announce a movie at the beginning of the month. Everybody goes and watch the movie. We're gonna try to keep it the stuff that's on streaming services so that everybody has time to go see it. Stuff that's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus, something like that. But we really do want to get a wide swath of genre and cover a bunch of different things. So we want to do anime, we want to do drama and comedy and musicals, you know, so that we can really, everybody has a chance to go and watch them, and we come back at the end of the month and have a really high level conversation about the movie and how we felt about it and the individual characters. And we want to talk, you know, we're going to talk cinematography, we're going to talk music, we're going to talk, you know, all of the things that really make a movie what it is. And that chat will be something that is live. There will be people who can join us just like you're in here now. But we'll probably spend the first half hour of that discussion doing a more generalized discussion, and that will be specific only to Patreon. So we're working on that. We're putting some ideas together about what we want to do. I don't know if we're going to make it in time for June. We will certainly have something together for at least July. But we might be able to squeeze something in for June. We're gonna try. We'll see how that pans out. We're gonna do some voting and try to figure out what the best way is to get ideas for what we want to do for the remainder of the year. You know, with June, that makes it 7 movies, which isn't too bad. You know what I mean? So it's not too tough. But I think it'll be a big deal, and we'll kind of decide after the first one kicks off whether or not it makes sense if we need to do like a separate Facebook page just for the movie club and that kind of thing. We'll be partnering with Coop again and bringing him back in, as he was our resident movie guy, to at least join us for those and for those conversations each month. We're going to have Mari of the Frosty Twins, who also partners with Uncanny Nerd, to join us with that. Speaking of which, I will be on Uncanny Nerd's channel on Monday, this coming Monday. So they have been doing something called 5 Up, 3 Down for the MCU. They went back and literally watched every film from the MCU up to this point, and did what they call 5 Up, 3 Down, where they give 5 things they liked about the movie and 3 things they didn't, and everybody goes to kind of go around the horn and do that. They just finished doing their last one, which was Spider-Man Far From Home. Mm-hmm. And so this Monday, they are putting together their top 10, and I am joining them to help facilitate them putting together their top 10. So y'all make sure you're following Uncanny Nerd across the board. Check that out. Yeah, my main guy is on there. Like, before that next spoiler, boys.
Loki right around the corner.
Listen, I mean, I work late tomorrow, but we might need to do an Invincible Spoiler Boys like Sunday night before we have our meeting. Does that sound like a thing? Y'all tell me. Okay. I guess we're doing Invincible Spoiler Boys. So keep your eyes open for that. Yeah.
About to go rewatch it.
I know, really. I've actually already watched it twice.
Interviews we're putting together for Virtual Comic-Con, which is June 18th through 20th. So we'll have content for you there. We are putting together a new panel. It is one of our favorite panels to do, Spoiler Boys, which is a being comfortable being a geek panel. We're gonna have new folks on that panel with us. We're gonna have a few ladies join us to do that panel. So we're working on some of that content as well. Tuesday, we will have another special guest to join us for AAPI Heritage Month. So make sure you're tuned in on Tuesday That show will be really good. We're having Shady Hayes, who is an incredible cosplayer, who is also the person who put together Virtual Comic-Con. So we're gonna have her on with us on Tuesday to talk shop. So keep your eyes open for that. We're staying busy, y'all. There's a lot happening. Again, there's y'all support here and in Patreon that really allows us to keep going the way we're going. Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's go and shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Facts. Brock, you haven't seen Invincible? Change your life.
Go take care of that. Take care of that.
You take care of that right away. Ask Greg in the comments. That's like the first thing he said when he got in here was like, yo. Off the strength of last week, he was like, I went and checked out that Invincible, and it is. Yeah, make sure you do that. That joint is definitely a solid watch. Listen, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, appreciate y'all being here. Can't do it without y'all. Love you. With that, we're out. There it is.
Invincibles. Horde. Horde.
Oh man. Look, we'll see y'all tomorrow night for Twitch. Hey, seeing you by yourself tomorrow night?
Seems like it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be playing Mass Effect.
Woo. Woo.
I might have played.
Pretty sure
I will tell y'all, I got my youngest started playing Resident Evil today.
That answers that question.
I have some footage of that.
Ooh.
Wham!
That's a good time. That's a good time.
How did we not do that one time through the damn show?
You know, because I forgot when you put up the one slide.
I got you. Here it is. You ready? I got you.
I already know what it is.
And wham! Nah, you thought it was gonna be little jokes. It's not.
You damn right. You got you.
That's your man getting there. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Go ahead, son. I see you. Go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it.
See, I wasn't gonna do it.
Nah, go ahead, do it. You was. I see you. I saw you.
But since it's right here, you know, I keep it on deck just because you never know.
You know what I mean?
Is that your background now, man? Wham!
Wham! Little jokes.
Oh, thank you, J. Robert Deans. I swear, dude.
Definitely working on making that into a Funko Pop. Definitely.
Oh,
AB said he'll be tuned in. All right, look, we gotta go. So we're out. Toodles and Lose.